Max, what did this performance tell you?
Well, Kenny Smith said it all last night during halftime. Guys, here's what it told me. Think about this Warriors team for a second. I'm really just paraphrasing what he said here because when he said it, I thought that's exactly right. Steph Curry is what, Stephen A? What's Steph Curry? How would you describe him?
The greatest shooter I have ever seen.
Me too. That's the greatest shooter in the history of basketball. That's Steve Nash 2.0, a mobile artillery unit whose handles let him get anywhere and whose range is essentially unlimited. As you saw last night at the buzzer beater, I forgot if it was the half or the quarter, where he hits that ridiculously long-range three, and it wasn't a heave, it was a shot. The greatest shooter in the history of the game, Stephen A., who is basically unguardable because of his handles, is never doubled. Think about that. He's on a team where you can't double him. So that's what, watching that game yesterday, that's what you saw. You said, wait a minute, because of Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Steve Kerr's coaching philosophy and offense, you can't send two guys at the greatest shooter who ever lived? Good luck with that. And that's the reason the Warriors, in the end, will win the championship. They just got too many weapons.
What it tells me is that when you watch Steph Curry get off, if somehow, some way, you can find a way to neutralize Curry, not to say that you can, but there are nights, rare nights, where he's just, I don't know whether he's off or not into it or whatever, because when he's focused, he doesn't miss. The point that I'm trying to make to you is that you look at the Golden State Warriors, and after 3 straight trips to the NBA Finals, and even before then, there are times where you sense a level of vulnerability because of defense, particularly on the interior, or you have a situation where other guys are not willing to step up and be that aggressor. Kevin Durant is just Mr. Efficiency. Offensively, he's just big time. We all know that he's one of the top 3 players on the planet as far as I'm concerned. He can do what he wants when he wants. But the want to, in terms of giving me the basketball, let me drop 50 on you tonight. Y'all take the night off, it's all right. He ain't that kind of guy. Steph Curry is. And when Steph Curry is that way, there's really no match. When Steph Curry looks the way that he looks last night, just get your broomsticks ready. Most people are going to get swept right out of there. Yeah. They ain't going to even win a game.
Because the Clippers played well.
When he doesn't play that way, they'll make it up. I understand that. Yeah. But the Clippers played well, but at the same time,
and there's nothing
again,
they could do.
You're devoid of a superstar. You're devoid of a superstar. You're devoid of that go-to guy. So in other words, sometimes that's more difficult for a team to defend against because who's going to beat us tonight? Lou Williams is their guy, sure. But you look at some of the other guys. Tobias Harris dropped 22 last night. Oh, don't give me Gallinari. Don't get me started with Gallinari.
He's playing very well recently.
By the way, he needs to lose some weight. He needs to lose some weight. Just a tip. Trust me on that. He needs to lose some weight. Point is that at the end of the day, if you're devoid of that superstar marquee guy, then it's difficult to decide, okay, who's going to be the guy that they go to? So, you're just waiting around to see what they throw at you next.
No, what I mean was I was going to your point, Stephen A.
But
I was going to your point,
like
when Steph gets hot like that, I'm saying the Clippers played basically not as well as they can, but they played a pretty good game. They were doing what they could, and when Steph gets hot like that, mere mortals have no shot. But I want to talk about your because, this is an ongoing theme that we discuss. I think hero ball does have a place in the NBA. It's, Michael Jordan's the greatest hero ball player ever, right? And it's not a coincidence. He's also the greatest player ever. But I think the reason Kevin Durant wanted to go to Golden State, I think the reason you can't ever double Steph is because that's not really important to those guys. They share the ball. They move the ball. They're unselfish with the ball. And I think that starts with Steph Curry, by the way. When you have a superstar who's willing to set the screens that he sets and do all the things that he does, it sets the tone. It makes other guys want to play with him. And more importantly, it helps that superstar. That's the reason you can't double him, because the ball's going to move. And because of that mentality, not only has Klay developed and Draymond's become a shooter, because Steph spaces the floor differently because he shoots from so deep, but it also attracted KD. So you're focusing on the fact that he has that thing in him sometimes that just wants to give you the business. okay, fine. But the key
Well-
to me is that none of those guys rely on it, and that's why they're impossible to guard.
The dissertation on that particular issue is not necessary. You can't double Steph because Clay and Kevin Durant are on the floor. It's that
You
simple.
ain't lying.
You could double Steph if he was on the floor with Zsa Pachulia and JaVale
triple
McGee. You could double him if he's on the court with a bunch
Send
of
all
those
5 guys.
But if you got Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant, how the hell you going to double him? You can't do it. You just can't do it. But they do. Here's the difference. They'll give the ball to Durant, and Durant will do his thing. Whereas when Steph gets hot, there's a concerted, collective effort to find this man and give him the basketball. That's different than what they do with Durant.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, the bottom line is if Steph's shot is hot, nobody can stop them.